Yo, hey, what's happening, everybody? We are stuck in traffic. Fun. Traffic. We are in California, headed to our load. I don't know if there's an accident or if it's road construction. I have no idea what's going on. The road looked great before, and now it's kind of backed up. As I talked in my previous videos, we deal with this. You deal with delays, traffic, delays from shippers, delays from dispatch to co-signees, blah blah blah. Always delays, but it's all good, as they say. Welcome aboard, guys. Appreciate you guys coming through. The biggest headache that we deal with is parking overall. You get to a truck stop too late, can't find any parking. It really sucks. I don't understand. I don't know if there's too many trucks on the road. I don't know the answers, but it's not fun. You run out of time. You have to find a place to park, and you can't find anything. That's why planning becomes a big part of it. That way you can double down. Sometimes you might have to go to like a mom and pop truck stop. That way you don't have to be paranoid about, oh, I can't find a place to park, and stuff like that. If I can look here, not to get distracted, but if we look here, it looks like one of the lanes is closed, maybe for an accident. We don't know why, because I see everyone needs to get over. So I'm gonna let this truck over. Come on. Yeah, see, little stuff like that makes a big deal, guys. Trying to be considerate, let people through. Obviously, there's something going on up there I can't see. So I would like, if I put on my blinker, somebody would let me in. And there are people out there who do. I like California. I really do. I like Northern California especially. I think it looks nice. Drivers are pretty good. And got some nice pretty mountains and junk. Definitely, I feel like backing is more difficult than driving forward. It takes more skills to consistently back the truck up safely. And there's different parts of the back. You have your setup, you have your approach, blah blah blah. You got to make sure that you have space, hazards, and unfortunately, even though this thing is the biggest thing on the road, a lot of times we have to back it up in a space that we feel are definitely tight, which doesn't make any sense to me, but that's the name of the game. And then, just so you guys know a little bit, you got side back, is what you always want to do. A side back is backing up facing your left hand side. This is where you sit, obviously, in the driver's seat. As you guys can see, I look out this mirror, we see all the traffic, we see people, stuff like that. This is where you want to back up every time if you can, but it doesn't always happen that way. The reason is because you can stick your head out the window and you can see what your trailer is doing. You're closer to this side. On the other side, the right side, is called a blind side, and the reason it's called a blind side is for that reason. Is because the mirror is further away, the trailer is further away. You can't stick your head out while you're backing. So when you're backing on the right side, the trailer disappears. That's why it's called blind side. There are little tricks to make it a little bit easier, like using your bottom mirror right over there. I don't know if you guys can see it. And even your fender mirror does help a little bit, but visibility is still very poor. And those backs, in my opinion, if you can help it, need to be avoided. If you can't help it, just take your time, be safe, get out and look, stuff like that. Another thing that we deal with is mountains. If you guys didn't know, basically, these trucks have got a lot of torque and a lot of power. Okay, we understand that, but at the same time, they can't pull all this weight up these mountains. So where you have your transmission here, hopefully you guys can see it. You really want to be on top of your gears. You need to know your weight. You need to have an idea of what you're hauling, so that way you know how to drive. Going up the hills, if you guys live in states that have a lot of mountains and hills, such as Utah, Oregon, Northern California, Virginia, North Carolina, Pennsylvania. If you live in some of those states that I've called Tennessee, And there's some others. You know, then you guys know this, but for those that live on flat states like I do, you know, I never dealt with this until I saw it. So yeah, if you see trucks going up the mountain real slow, it's because we can't pull the weight. You got to use the gears to get the truck up the hill, and then when we do, obviously all that weight is pushing us down. So that's when we really have to use the transmission and get our gears right to, you know, safely get down the hill. It becomes a really big deal when there's ice. I'm sure you guys have heard of chains and stuff like that. In general, the way I feel is like if it's, you know, if I need to put on chains, I probably shouldn't be driving, because then the roadways are icy, and the last thing you want to do is start sliding all over the place. Obviously, you know, I know because I drove last winter, and I know they have those you know, whatever you can call it, that throws down salt to clear up the roadway, but sometimes it happens too fast. They shut down the road, and I just usually shut it down. Very dangerous in a whiteout situation, where when you get out of the whiteout, you know, you have a pile up. I know for me, if it's whiteout, you know, I'm probably gonna stop, honestly. I also want to say that if you guys don't know this, these trucks don't handle well at all. I know I talked about it a little bit, but I'm serious though. These trucks don't handle at all. It is ridiculous. I repeat, it is ridiculous how easy it is to kill yourself with one of these things. You take one turn too fast and you're done. I mean, they're top heavy, so you know, they're affected by wind, you know, a lot. Literally, I mean, if you're empty, you know, a gust of wind, I don't know the exact miles an hour, I'm not no scientist, but a gust of wind can definitely flip you over. Wyoming is notorious for their wind and their crazy weather, so I don't really even mess with Wyoming like that. But I had to deal with it, and when you're under 20,000 pounds, that wind starts blowing, and it'll straight take the trailer and throw it into the next lane. So when the winds are too high and your weight is low, you know, shut it down. You know, and they have signs and stuff like that. What else? They got DOT rules. You know, DOT, you know, trucking is very over-regulated in my opinion. I feel like it's not that serious, but you know, it's not up to me. You know, I understand it's for safety, but you know, I feel like all these rules and regulations, but what's going on with the pay? You know, I mean, this is crazy. You know, but you know, that's for another video. I'm not gonna go ahead and start, you know, complaining about pay. We'll say that, believe it or not, the truck will flip over easier without the trailer. I myself thought it was crazy until I dealt with it myself and took a turn, which I didn't think was that fast, maybe like 15 miles an hour. And the truck just leaned, and I was like, wow, if I was going much faster, this truck would want to start to tip. So the trailer, believe it or not, gives you extra traction, and a loaded trailer handles better than an empty trailer, because that weight helps keep the you know what I'm saying, the drive tires on the ground, which obviously helps for traction and stuff like that. I just want to say real quick, I do appreciate you know, all the comments that I've received. Like I say, guys, this is just the beginning, so I'm just trying to give y'all a steady flow, a fresh take on trucking. I know there's a lot of drivers out there who, you know, put up videos, and my goal is that way I can, you know, it could be entertaining, but it can also be, hopefully we all learn something and stuff like that. So that's just what it's all about. All right, in another video, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna talk about some of the tips for new drivers. I'm not gonna act like, you know, I know it all, but you get to a certain amount of time and things just start to click. Things, especially with backing, I mean, you're either gonna get it or you're not. I mean, there's really, eventually, if you do it enough, it's gonna click. For some guys it's a year, some guys it's right away, I don't know, but you know, you're either gonna get it or you're gonna start hit and jump. So I mean, there's really no other way around it. You either get it in the hole or you don't. More and more younger people like myself getting into it, because the older, more experienced drivers are getting out of the industry for one reason or another. And so I'll give y'all some tips. I'm also going to talk about some of the qualities you want to be able to have to be able to do this job and do it well, and to not, go crazy, because it's very easy to become bitter doing this over a while. Problem solving, planning. There's a lot that goes into it, and I'm just, I'm thankful to give you all just a little bit of a sneak preview. All right, so now we see what was the reason. The road is closed. We got one lane that's shut down. So, but it's all good. You guys can see the mountains in the back of California. Yeah, I like California. Me being from Florida, it's refreshing to see something different. They got palm trees like we do, but their palm trees are taller, and it's not as humid as Florida, but it's still got that kind of sunshine type of feel. So I'm gonna keep the videos coming. Eventually I'm gonna get fancy, and guys, don't only think that I'm only gonna be talking about trucking. Okay, Against the Grain is my personal brand of what I stand for and stuff like that. But trucking is just what I do right now, but that's not the only thing that I'm interested in. Eventually I'm going to be doing other commentaries, whether it be playing video games and talking junk while I'm doing it, or cooking, or any of the other things that I'm interested in. I do know that there's a lot of people interested in trucking in general. So, oh, look at that. Now we got an opening. The lane opens back up, and we're going to be able to go ahead and make it do what it do. Hey, until we meet again, it's really been a pleasure.